Well, hey there, it's Jen.
And Elke, welcome to the Jen and Elke Show. This is a special episode because we have become rich doing what we're doing. And what we want to help you do is take on the habits that have helped us get rich as well, and so that you can get rich. So today, we're going to dive into some key pieces that are going to help you with your habits, because habits take a while to change. So today's your day to start. And then let's think about what you want to pick up as one of these habits to start with, and then get all of them in place after you keep working through this. And come back and talk to us in the chat afterwards to let us know how you've done with your work, because this is a little bit of a practice as well as, I don't know, is this the right way to do this? Or like,
Hey, we're live.
Jen has this really great idea, and we're going to dive into this. And so just make sure that you're following along, because I think it's really important. We don't talk about this very much. We always talk about all the strategies and everything else that you need in order to do the thing to make the money. But behind that, before you even start doing that, you've got to get these habits in place. Otherwise, the money will just not come or just disappear as soon as it got there. And so let's dive into that today.
Okay, so rich girl habits that actually make you rich. If you are brand new here, or maybe you've been part of our community for a while, Elke and I have made a lot of money on a platform called Zazzle. And we're not going to dive into what the specifics of Zazzle are in this video. We are going to be talking more about what the mindset shifts happened in terms of our habits and how we actually got to be to where we are today, because we decided to dedicate certain things towards making an online business. So maybe you're watching this video because you're thinking about starting an online business, whether that be with print on demand or not. But Elke and I, we are the print on demand queens of Zazzle. And so we like to shift people towards that venue for making money online. But I think before you even decide to start a store or start building out content, there is a certain amount of things that you need to do in order to actually become successful. And that's where the switch happens between somebody who just starts something and doesn't follow through and also isn't successful with it, to the other side of things where you're actually implementing certain things and have these habits to actually become successful and follow through with it. So the first one that we're going to talk about is business skill sets. And interestingly enough, a lot of people who just decide to start a print on demand store or open up something online with Shopify, there's a million other venues out there like Etsy. A lot of people think that it's an easy, quick cash grab because they see online with social media, someone says, make this product just like this person with this statistics, and you'll make as much money as they do, which unfortunately is a huge lie. So if you've seen things out there like that, then please don't believe them, because it takes a lot of hard work and effort into putting things out there and actually creating a viable business. And so you have to be in the mindset that, okay, we're starting a business. You can't just open up a store and automatically hope things will happen, or open up an online business irrespective of being print on demand or not. And we're going to kind of relate it to print on demand because that's our domain of where we talk about Zazzle all the time. So business skill sets. And I can attest and say my own story is that when I first started an online business, it actually wasn't a business. It was a fun hobby. It was like a game for me. And I didn't make that connection where at the beginning I actually thought of it as a business. So I actually wasted time at the beginning trying to just play around with things, thinking that it would actually work for me, when I didn't actually have the foundation in place and also the mindset of owning a business and the skill sets, right? And so understanding that there is some work that goes along with that, and some research, and obviously accountability, which I'll talk about in a second. But understanding that you have to have that foundation of business skill sets to actually implement a business, right? And that's where courses and training come in, and mentorship and coaching, like Elke and I are here to do that for you. We have multiple different options for you to work with us. But if you aren't at that mindset of you're dedicated to actually create this as a business, then that's where the disconnect comes from. And that's why Elke and I became successful. It was that we realized from quite early on that this is something that could potentially be a very profitable business. But if we didn't actually treat it as a business, then that's where we failed. And I think a lot of people as well, including myself many years ago, that if you're able to start something for free, like Zazzle, for example, you can open up an account for free and start posting products for sale. it's not something that you treat as a business or that you think of a business because it's free. You're not investing any money in it. You're not investing anything else except your time. And whether or not it works or it doesn't work, it's not something that you really say, okay, I'm dedicated to making this work for whatever reason. It's this weird mindset shift. We've done a lot of surveys and questionnaires with people who have worked with us and been in our community, that many people didn't take it seriously at the beginning because it was something that they could easily start. And I think that's where a lot of people fail at the beginning. I don't know if Elke, you want to talk on that a little bit.
Let's go a little bit deeper into what the business skill sets mean. It means that, first of all, you can't bring some other skill sets that you have, even if you have business skill sets, you can't bring those specifically to, let's say, this model of a business model, because they're different, right? The 5 strategies, which is our 5 strategy framework, is definitely the business side of things in terms of running a business, but how you apply them to the actual platform that you're using to make money, or like, let's say, any other online business, there's a certain number of like systems and operations and things like that that need to be part of the whole process of design, like putting the skill sets in place that you can operate a business. That's kind of where you're taking that. But then the mindset is the biggest part, because as Jen said, when you have the mindset that you've got skin in the game, i.e. it has to work or there's a consequence, and also the way that you approach it, which is the mindset as well, then you're making completely different decisions. And if you do have the expectations of having it as a business outcome, but then you actually only get you put into it sort of a hobby type of sets of skills and approaches, then you're not going to get the business outcome that you expect, and you're going to quit early. So there's so many people that have actually not done so well because they did it on their own and they tried on their own. And like, this is even people that have big corporate executive jobs. They know what they're doing. They're supposed to know what they're doing. They've done well for themselves externally. But then when they come and do something called an online business or your own business, it's a different set of skills, right? And so those business skills, that like entrepreneurial skills, are very different, and you have to embrace them. You have to realize that you're not there yet with that. You have to learn those out of experience, plus out of education and mentorship and courses, as Jen said. But otherwise, you're failing before you even give it a chance. And we've noticed that with so many people, because we've taken people who are basically failing because they tried it on their own, and then they did really, really well under our structure and framework. And so the first habit is, yes, I have to admit that I need different business skills. Second habit is I have to get them and I have to acquire them. And then the mindset as well that I'm going to learn and make a lot of mistakes, but I still need to treat it like a business. So I have to be accountable. I have to move in, have to make decisions. I have to make decisions based on research and on the business skill is the biggest piece, and everything falls into the rest of those habits, which in this case, Jen's already put up accountability, which means we're segueing into that, and time management. And what else are you putting up?
Well, I think those two you mentioned that are together, accountability and time management as well, where you have to become accountable of actually, and then also dedication, right? Just all of these things work together. As a group. The one thing going into, and we also had business energy and mindset. So all of those we just pretty much spoke about underneath the business skill sets, but they all follow suit. And the one thing that I think as well you have to just have is also a passion for it, passion for being and doing this business, right? It's not just about putting the things out there and actually doing the work. It's also about the things that keep the structure together, right?
Well, and also the full understanding of that you're running a business, but you're all on your own, and there's no one holding you accountable. It's not a boss that says you have to have this done by Wednesday. And so, my dog needed to be spayed, or it's a nice day out, so I didn't bother to do the work today. And then slowly over time, that those lack of accountability and mindset and purpose and as you said, passion, whether it's purpose or passion, I think the two of them kind of go together. They don't give you those borders and guidelines as to, if I don't do this now, this won't happen later. And yet you go like, oh no, I'm running a really good freedom business here. I can work when I want. I can go have margaritas at the pool. But then you go like, well, why didn't this work for me? Because you didn't do the work. And the best part of all of this combined is, if you do pick a business model like the one that we've been picking and choosing for you for all these years, because we love Zazzle, it is giving you, and if you bring along any sort of training, like for art training, where it teaches you how to do it within a 5-hour to 6-hour window of hours a week, then if you're staying consistent, you can really build momentum. But that requires the habit of consistency, which is another habit that we really feel is very important. Like, you don't have to work so much that you're getting burnt out, because you want to do this as a side hustle. You don't want to, this is a long game. So you don't really want to have like jump into the deep end like I did, where I didn't have the backup. I want you all to hear that if you're going to start a job, start it as a side hustle, but pick something that's a side hustle that's doable, but gives you the reward at the end if you consistently put in the effort and create those habits of, okay, I'm going to put an extra couple of hours in here or there, but consistently. And this brings us to the whatever you want to call it, accountability, passion. So we've had clients who've basically worked 3 hours on the weekend, like on a Saturday, or they take 5 hours, do the work, they're done. Some people worked an hour every morning because they got up an hour earlier every morning before their day started, and they did it that way. Yeah, but they're not just on the computer, they're literally implementing very specific pieces of the puzzle that's required in order to set up this online print-on-demand business. And a lot of mindset issues come up because most people hear a lot of things on social media, even on YouTube. There's a ton of people that go like, to catch and bait you. They have all these really great hooks, like, I made $35,000 in an hour. And it's like, wow, that's great. So show me how that happened. And it's not an hour. It was based on a lot of habits that were put in place and things, that took place before it happened, that in an hour they made that sale, and that, or multiple sales to get to that a certain amount. And so those are really important pieces to understand, that you've got to bring everything in alignment and add those puzzle pieces, so that ultimately within a certain consistent habit forming and habit like doing time frame, you are building something that has foundation and that has potential to earn money. And once you realize that that's the mindset you need, then you realize, okay, we're not talking about quick fixes. We're not talking about when I get around to it. We're not talking about, oh, I should be making more money because, I put a little bit of effort in. And so all of those together make you realize, oh, I just picked something that actually is my reality now, and I need to step up, and I have to be accountable, and I have to put my rich girl shoes on and start going like, I have to behave the way someone would behave in order to have this business become a truly viable 5 to 6 figure profitable business. And that's where we're moving in this discussion. It's kind of like all over the place because everything is intertwined. And hopefully one of these things resonates with you, and then all the rest will actually fall into place because you know what to do, right? It's just our minds trick us. And we've heard so much social imprinting from, it's easy, or you just have to do it in like an hour a week, and you just have to, do this or that, and all of a sudden it works. But that consistency of getting up, putting the effort in, having those goals, consistently doing the work, making sure that the work is effective, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, I've built a business, and the business is now ready to be tweaked and scaled. And now that you've got the system going, it doesn't matter, if it's starting or scaling, you can scale because you have the foundation set and ready to go. Does that make sense? And like you can add to that now if you want.
Yes, nope, that makes definite sense. And we're going to just wrap up too here with if you're interested in learning more about how we can help you implement all the business strategies and also help you build your store and create certain products. I know we haven't chatted too much about Zazzle in this video, but we've definitely spoken about where we became rich on the platform, and that is Zazzle. And we are sharing our knowledge with you in our Profit by Design Academy
And our
experience,
habits.
in our habits. Our
Yes.
habits and our knowledge. And we have the PDA, which is open for enrollment right now. And we're starting a new cohort in June 1st. So you can go to elkeclarke.com/start and scale and learn more about what that whole event is and experience. And we would love to teach you our habits and walk this journey through with you, because we both, Elke and I, struggled to make our business work online, and now we are extremely successful and we teach others how to do so. So make sure that you check out elkeclarke.com/start and scale. The link is also in the description of this video, and we can't wait to have you in our Profit by Design Academy, which is starting June 1st. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.